My name is Adam, and I'm an alcoholic. Daily Reflections. June 3rd. On a wing and a prayer. When we look at step 6, we have emphasized willingness as being indispensable. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 76. Steps 4 and 5 were difficult, but worthwhile. Now I was stuck on step 6, and in despair, I picked up the big book and read this passage. I was outside, praying for willingness, when I raised my eyes and saw a huge bird rising in the sky. I watched it suddenly give itself up to the powerful air currents of the mountains. Swept along, swooping and soaring, the bird did things seemingly impossible for mortal birds to do. It was an inspiring example of a fellow creature letting go to a greater power than itself. I realized that if the bird took back his will and tried to fly with less trust on its power alone, it would spoil its apparent free flight. That insight granted me the willingness to pray the 7th step prayer. It's not easy to know God's will in each circumstance. I must search out and be ready for the currents, and that's where prayer and meditation help. Because I am of myself nothing. I ask God to grant me the knowledge of His will and the power and courage to carry it out today. My name is Adam, and I am an alcoholic. At meetings in the USA, it is said, "Take the cotton wool out of your ears and put it over your mouth. Start listening, not talking." In America, the cradle of AA, a lot of practices and auxiliary slogans have been developed to help novices understand the steps and traditions and face the hardships of everyday life. But back to my early sobriety. Well, I quickly understood that I had to listen to those in whose hands I entrusted my life. Therapists and co-participants of therapy. With great horror, and then with satisfaction, I found out that they knew everything about me. From where? After all, I'm here for the first, second, third day, and I hear things about myself that I would like to hide under the rubble, so that no one would find it, would not decipher my shadow. I listened and tried to understand. I listened and found a lot of wisdom in their words. I found myself. Slowly, I began to understand myself, my past, and my project for the future. I gave myself entirely to these pieces of advice. I found myself, my flaws, strengths, and opportunities. I just had to listen. Just surrender to what others have done long ago. The same has been going on for many years, and will invariably change the fate of alcoholics who believe that nothing and no one will help them. Just listen. Not to yourself, or at least not only to yourself. This is the beginning for everyone. Listen and you'll find faith, hope and love. This is the beginning. Just listen and you will hear the will of God, who will fill you with love for yourself, to forgive yourself and others. So listen, and you'll hear something you haven't heard for a long time. The sound of water, the singing of the wind. I also assure you that the horn on the street will no longer give you a heart attack, but simply, it will be. Because sometimes the driver has to react in such a way that someone sees and hears. Thank you for today. See you in sobriety. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference.